the water, put out a broadcast to many cargo tanker ships anchored off the ports there, trying to get more information, but did not get any supporting reports.
Fun light show last night, right? Thunder, lightning, delayed the beginning of the Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
4,000 lightning strikes last night.
It was long. It was a long thunder and lightning storm.
Yeah.
I mean, from 5 o'clock to at least when I was driving home after the game around 10, it was still going on.
You were talking about when people stay at home for too long, they become social morons. They don't know how to deal with other human beings.
Yeah.
If you're out of weather for a long time, you forget what it's like. It's exhilarating.
I was stoked. I mean, set aside the fact that the Chargers knocked off the Raiders on Monday Night Football during a lightning storm. Like, how poetic is that? But it was really cool to watch on the way home. I liked it.
Neil Saavedra is the host of the Fork Report Saturdays here on the KFI, and he joins us when we talk about food stuff. And there is an interesting aspect of life that's going on where people are foregoing the old family dinners.
This was always very important to my mom, that we eat at the table together.
We always had we had a hard time getting everybody together because my mom, or my two sisters and I were all doing different things. So it was rare that we would get together, all of us, but it was important when we were together, all five of us.
Yeah, I think I kind of came up the same way as Shannon in that one, that it was very important to my mother and to have all of us there. I mean, it dwindled when my mom went to work at some point, but it was very important, kind of the big thing, and I've been a fan of it. It was a way that the family connected, I think, and we mentioned this on the show many times before. The word companion, the root of companion is pan, it's bread, and it means someone you break bread with. It's a very powerful thing to connect over food. We do it in treaties, we do it after war, we do all kinds of things where food becomes festivals, religious beliefs, center around these festivals as well with food. It's powerful, but what ends up happening is we pollute or pervert these things by making them such a mandate and stress, and often that stress goes on to the already stressed person who leads these parts of the household, which is traditionally the woman, who now has multiple jobs and oversees big businesses and all these different things, and still feels culturally the need to oversee these things, and then they become stressful, and it completely eradicates the purpose of getting together and connecting, and becomes more problematic. So more and more, they're doing studies saying, listen, it's okay if you can't do them formally. We even got rid of ours.
I remember, sorry to interrupt you. I think it would probably be like at the height of TV dinner excitement, right? And my mom was working, and she was working, crazy amounts of hours. She was a nurse manager, and she always would make sure that they made something. But then when the TV dinners came out, right, and they were just so easy. And so, for a while, we would get those, and it was, the coolest thing in my mind, because they had just come out, and it was just all right, she's busy. We get a TV dinner.
And it has everything, right? It has everything. It's even got the desserts in there.
And it's all compartmentalized.
The bento box. And you know what? Those have become popular as well, and I highly recommend them for people for work lunches or for your kids. Bento boxes are great. Our beloved Mondo has this great stacking unit that he brings that has all the different elements of the food, and that would be his lunch or his dinner, depending on when he was working. And that can be a powerful thing as well, those things. The key is having some connection over food is imperative. I was saying we got rid of our dining room, and we made it a playroom for Max so that he's not sequestered in the back of the house in his bedroom and not interacting with the rest of the family. So we decided we never used it. It became, just like more counter space, kind of, you put stuff on it, and we got rid of it. And at first I was really torn because I'm a fan of the family coming together. And then I found that we found other ways to do it. We'll eat in the backyard, or we'll eat together in the living room, or sometimes in his play area. He has a little table there, and we'll all sit there. And I found that as long as we made the time to connect and to talk about the food, or what he liked and what he didn't like, or talking about each other's day a little bit, it doesn't matter how you set it. It's if you feel the stress and you're constantly screaming about everybody come here, or my mom had a bell, no joke, a cowbell that she would ring, and we'd come running from wherever we were, knowing that it was dinner. So it's like boom, 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 and you came running. But to find these times with family, whether it's even around a movie, which was, did your mom have that rule, Shannon, no TV during dinner?
No, I mean, yes, it started that way, and then right around the TV dinner phase is when you had the TV trays, right?
Yeah.
And it's like fake wood paneling, and we would watch the nightly news or whatever on those for a while, and then the 90s came, and I think those went by the wayside.
Our TV was off unless it was Monday night.
Why?
And
What
you could
was
watch football.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Yeah, it was just the news for us, pretty much during dinner time, which sounds
Yeah, I
very
remember
stressful now looking back.
I remember all of that.
Yeah.
I remember all of those things, and I think that's kind of the same pattern you all went down. The key is connect with each other. Food is a great way to do it. Involve your kids in the cooking is also a thing that I do. So.
Wow, that
sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it is really great way for them to understand ingredients and things they like and participate.
You don't want me to come over when you're making your shakshuka and teach me?
Oh, nice pull there with the shakshuka. I'm coming over.
I will say that some of our favorite memories with the kids were while we were eating dinner.
Yeah.
Because that was the opportunity for us. You know, they're done with homework or, taking a break from homework. There's no sports, whatever. And you could just sit and have the normal conversations with them.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the day?
How are you doing with your daughter at school?
She may come back this weekend.
Oh, that's nice.
Just for the weekend.
You're okay?
Am I okay?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Break out the TV dinners.
There you
Sit around and
go.
watch some news.
Neil, thank
Horrible
you.
idea.
Thanks, guys.
All right, John, what's happening on the Johnny Ken Show?
Come on right after the news, because this oil platform company was 12 hours late in reporting the oil leak. And
Convenient.
they should have known right away as soon as the pressure dropped
Yeah.
in their pipe. So
Is it somebody just sitting at the control panel just tapping it going, it's a faulty sensor,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
well, that's what happens when there's nuclear meltdowns.
Right.
There's some guy not watching the gauge.
He doesn't believe it.
No, he doesn't. He figures it's malfunctioning. So
Nobody wants to do their job anymore.
No. And then seals and sea lions have to die for this.
And that's something that you actually care about.
I
You do care about animals.
I care about animals, dolphins.
One of these fun facts about John that you wouldn't get on the surface.
There's only 2 fun facts about me, and that's one of them.
What's the other
I
one?
can't talk about.
Is it the buying bulk underwear at Lake Arrowhead? Because I find that to be a really fun fact.
You might have 3. You have one nobody else has.
I'm all stocked up over here with
Right,
John's fun
okay,
facts.
It's coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay dry, everybody.
Blessings.
One thing for sure, the American people lost, because that was horrific. Gary and Shannon.
You use some high-minded language. I'm just going to say it like it is. That was a show.
Untangling the mess until it makes sense.
KFI,
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
New details on Deborah Mark live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Officials say they know the source of that oil leak that happened off the shore of Huntington Beach. KFI Steve Gregory reports live that officials still don't know who's responsible.
Coast Guard Captain Rebecca Orr says a remote-controlled camera first spotted a bend in a pipeline, then divers went down to confirm.
We've determined that approximately 4,000 feet of the 17.7-mile pipeline has been displaced, and it's been laterally displaced by 105 feet.
Orr says it's still not clear how the pipe was moved, though the CEO of Amplify Energy, the owner of the pipeline, had suggested yesterday the pipe was damaged by a ship's anchor. Officials are also trying to sort out when the spill was first reported and how quickly the Coast Guard responded. As of this morning, 4,788 gallons of crude oil have been recovered out of an estimated 127,000 gallons spilled. Live in the newsroom, Steve Gregory, KFI News.
And John and Ken will have much more on the oil spill with Alex Stone after the news. Water will be flowing into LA differently to help communities get through the drought.
Mayor Garcetti says more water will be coming into the city of LA from the Colorado River and its reserves, and less will come from the State Water Project to leave more water for communities that rely solely on the State Water Project, as its levels are low.
It doesn't matter where city boundaries are, it doesn't matter where county boundaries are. Water, like so many things, like our air and pollution, our economies, ignores those boundaries.
Areas that rely on State Water Project water include parts of Ventura County and parts of the San Gabriel Valley. In Granada Hills, Blake Trolley, KFI News.
A panel of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals says a state law to phase out privately run prisons in California may not include immigration detention centers. The judge found the law tries to regulate an area that belongs to the federal government. California argued it had the legal right to safeguard the health and safety of detainees in the state. President Biden has traveled to Michigan to rally support for his infrastructure bill and Build Back Better agenda.
All those investments to fuel the strong economy, we've taken our foot off the gas. I don't know what's happened.
Biden says the U.S. used to have the best infrastructure in the world. The World Economic Forum now ranks the U.S. 13th in the world. Biden says the U.S. was among the first country in the world to guarantee access to universal education. Now he says the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development ranks the U.S. 35th out of 37 major countries in that area. The FBI has raided the headquarters of the New York Police Department's Sergeants Union. Aaron Katersky says the feds have only said it's part of an ongoing investigation.
We're told agents also searched the Long Island home of Union President Ed Mullins. He has been a vociferous critic of Mayor de Blasio and known for incendiary social media posts.
Mullins once used colorful language to describe a former health commissioner at the beginning of the pandemic. A former Facebook executive says she has evidence the company has been dishonest in its fight against hate and misinformation. Frances Haugen has told lawmakers on Capitol Hill algorithms Facebook uses promote divisiveness and make users feel bad.
The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people.
She says Congress needs to get involved to put a stop to it. A spokesman for Facebook says that Haugen never worked on child safety or with Instagram and therefore has no direct knowledge of the topics she's talking about. We have a crash on the 405 in Van Nuys.
Northbound side of the 405 freeway, and that's going to be right before you get to Burbank Boulevard, where the 3 right lanes are taken away, and overall it's going to be a pretty heavy ride as you're coming away from just about Sunset. Also a little bit slow on the southbound side of the 405, coming away from Santa Monica Boulevard over to Howard Hughes Parkway. Making the ride into South LA, northbound side of the 110, that's going to be a slow ride coming away from Manchester on over to the 101. Southbound side also a bit heavy from the 10 freeway over to Manchester. Getting into Linwood, 105 West transitions to 710 North. That connector road is still blocked due to ongoing police activity, so things are still from Paramount. And if you're getting into Dana Point, southbound side of the 5, approaching Camino Los Rombos, got a crash here in the carpool in 2 left lanes, so things are jammed up from Camino Capistrano. KFI and the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jay Uber.
Rain could be coming back. We'll tell you when next.
Termites love Southern California, and there are 2 kinds of termite seasons here. 1, well, it's here all year long, and 2, it's really termite season, and that's what's going on right now. If you see those little bugs flying around or what looks like small pieces of sawdust on the floor, termites. And I'm going to suggest you call Pacific Coast Termite for a free home inspection. Now, certain restrictions apply. When you use Pacific Coast Termite, no tenting, no double bagging your food, no pet sitting. I've tented before. It is a nightmare. You do not want to go there. You can actually be home while Pacific Coast Termite does its work. Try doing that with a tent over your house. Mention KFI, get 10% off termite treatments, 2-year guarantee on their work. Call 800-PACIFIC, 800-PACIFIC. Visit PacificCoastTermite.com.
Pacific Coast Termite, Kill Termite.
The clean, friendly way.
At Southern California Edison, keeping our communities safe from the threat of wildfire is our priority. We're installing insulated power lines, managing vegetation, and inspecting and upgrading equipment on 50,000 square miles of community and wild spaces. Helping to keep our communities safe is a job we take very seriously, because the communities we serve are the communities we live and work in, too. Learn more at sce.com/mitigation.
The KFI Financial Report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow closed up 312, the S&P 500 up 45, NASDAQ up 178, and the average price of a gallon of regular gas in California is $4.41.
Bay Alarm security systems can change with your business, so you're right for now and ready for the next.
Southland weather from KFI, partly cloudy tomorrow, highs mid-70s for Metro LA, mid-70s to low 80s in the valleys, low to upper 70s in inland OC, 75 to 80 in the IE. Then we have a slight chance of rain Thursday night and a 40% chance on Friday. Right now it's 80 in Tustin, 72 Laguna Beach, 77 in Fontana, and 80 in Van Nuys. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Deborah Mark.
John Ken Show, John Cobell and Ken Shampo, KFI, and 640. Live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. All right, well, apparently the Coast Guard has confirmed that they first were alerted to the possibility of that oil spill off the Orange County coast on Friday night. So we had heard in initial reports that residents reported a foul smell. So some thought it was like natural gas. They were calling the police department. Of course, the official report from the company didn't come until Saturday morning. So a lot of questions about the timeline and whether or not something could have been done sooner to do something about the oil leak out of the pipeline, and whether or not the people should have been told not to be hanging around Huntington Beach into Saturday.
Yeah, we got a failure with this Amplify company. They should have known immediately that the oil leak happened because the pressure drops and there should be a sensor, an alarm. And
yes, we'll have more on that today too.
Yeah, and then the Coast Guard, if they found out on Friday night, they should have put out an all points bulletin to tell the world. I really don't understand this.
They're now saying today that the pipeline was displaced by about 105 feet and had a 13-inch split running parallel to the pipe. And of course, the big theory so far is that a ship's anchor might have caused that. All right, we're going to Alex Stone, ABC News, with more on the timeline.
Alex. Hey there, guys. Yeah, so we just got an update from everybody involved, the Coast Guard, Amplify, other agencies that are doing it. And kind of the two headlines out of this. One is, this, even though they won't say what they think it was, that it seems like a ship's anchor is the most likely thing, being that something pulled this pipeline, it appears, about 105 feet, 4,000 feet of the pipeline was pulled about 105 feet away, just like a bow, they say, and with a 13-inch gash in it. So they think that there must have been. Now, ships are told, anchor here, anchor there, knowing where the pipelines are and where other things underwater are, that a ship must have anchored in the wrong area and dragged anchor. If you watch Below Deck, you know Captain Sandy won't allow that. You don't drag anchor. That's a bad thing for a ship. Apparently, the leading theory right now is that the large ship's anchor was down, was scooting along the bottom of the ocean and hooked onto this thing and then pulled it right out like a string.
So when you drop an anchor,
it's supposed to go straight down and catch in the ground. Hit the sand in the bottom, and then, or whatever the makeup is at the bottom, and then keep you there and not be scooting along and you're moving with it.
Do you know how wide the pipe is?
They did tell us. I don't know the exact. It's a pretty big pipe, though. Big steel pipe. I don't have an exact number for you.
And it's not protected or reinforced any way to withstand an anchor?
It is. It's thick, but it's not. There's not a lot. They didn't bury it. Nothing like that. So if something hits it, now if something were to just hit it, it might have bounced off of it and then just slid down. But their thinking is now something dragged this, and unless it was a really big whale, what else is there that's going to go down, hook onto it, and then be able to pull this thing and make it like a bow? Right? They say it looks like underneath the water that you took a string on a bow and arrow and just pulled the string right back, and that's how the pipe is sitting right now. So they got to figure that out. Seems like that there's all kinds of GPS data on where ships are, and we've got all these ships that are sitting anchored off the coast right now because of the whole labor shortage. And
it was a commercial ship? That was the report yesterday?
Well, the thinking is it would have to be that big. That you're not going to get a sailboat that one puts down an anchor typically that far. And is
it one of the ships that are backed up?
We don't know. And they say they don't even know that it was an anchor, that they're looking into all of that. But, I mean, what else could it be if something pulled it? That seems like that has to have been it, but the Coast Guard a few minutes ago said that they're investigating what it was, and they don't know. The other thing, though, that they were very quick to address today was overnight we got these documents that showed, as you mentioned, the first report coming in 6:13 p.m. on Friday night. A foreign ship anchored off the coast said that they radioed in that they had a sheen. They told the National Response Center that they had a sheen on the water. That generated a report that came to California Fish and Wildlife, a division of it, at 8:22 p.m. on Friday night. And then hours later, about 2 o'clock in the morning, they got NOAA imagery, the weather agency, showing possible sheen from satellite imagery. And they said in that report that they were pretty certain that it was oil on the water based on what they could see in the image. But it wasn't until 8:55 a.m. on Saturday morning that Amplify Energy called to say, we've got a leak, we have shut off oil flow, and that we've got a problem here. And here's Amplify CEO. He says, oh, no, we never knew anything about those earlier reports.
Saturday morning, when we found the sheen, that's when we put in the incident manual that they posted. So we were not aware of anything Friday night. If there were reports, like I said, they did not come to us, and we did not make any reports.
He didn't up to 13 hours? Yeah, he won't talk about. All he will say is that they will, when it comes to pressure in the pipeline and why didn't alarms go off, and you know that there's going to be a criminal investigation and lawsuit, that he is saying, well, we're going to turn over, we're going to be transparent with investigators, but he won't talk about that system. He won't even talk about how it works. He won't describe it. Right, but it seems like it would be standard that if you have a big pressure drop, it would, that you got a problem. That means oil is flowing out. You would think. Now, we were asked of him today, what were your men and maybe women, what were your folks doing out on the platform, assuming that it was manned? Because the Coast Guard said they radioed out anybody in the area, we need your help looking for this scene, and that the platform never responded. So, was it manned? What were they doing? And again, the CEO will only say, well, we're going to be transparent with the investigators. By the way, the other part of it being, so it was over 12 hours before that reports were coming in. Today, the Coast Guard said, look, these come in all the time. When it's a phone report, you go, you look. The nightfall is coming. The oil is hard to see at nighttime. We didn't see anything, and then we kind of had to figure it out, and it took time. But it wasn't until noon on Saturday that the Coast Guard alerted the public, and that's now, and you got Supervisor Katrina Foley in the OC saying she didn't know until 1:38 p.m. Janet DeWin is the state assemblywoman. She says this whole thing did not work the way it should.
I'm just disappointed. I wish that we were at least been alerted, just even the basic information. I definitely want a full investigation on what happened. And I want to hold all the individuals accountable for this still.
Now, the investigating group says that that's exactly what they're going to do. But there is a long timeline here. And again, it seems like there's multiple people who either screwed up or didn't do their job. Yeah, it didn't respond. They're amazing chain of events. Were people flossing around in the water Saturday morning? Or was it still, the air show was going on, right? On Saturday morning still? Yeah. Well, and again, the Coast Guard today is saying, hey, we get all these reports, 99 point, let's say 9%, they didn't get a percentage, but most of the time, it's something that a speedboat going by, drops a little bit of oil and somebody reported it and they get there and they don't see it. This is how they, a few minutes ago, put it, saying just how vague that early info was and that it didn't really lead them anywhere.
At that time, at Curtis Nightfall, seems to be very difficult to see on the water. The information from the reporting source that paper investigators spoke with was inconclusive.
But the part that they actually, but NOAA at 1:32 o'clock in the morning had an image that it showed something that they said they were pretty sure it was oil about the size of Central Park in New York, which then the next image it got bigger and it got bigger, that they thought was oil. Now, what are you going to do at 1 a.m.? I don't know, but you can tell the world. Yeah, but by 6 a.m., you think that when the sun's coming up, but it wasn't until 8:55 a.m. when Amplify called to say, hey, we got a leak. Yeah, well, my question would be, when did Amplify go to try to stop it? They until after 9 on Saturday. We don't have an exact time on that. They notified, at least, wait, let me grab the document here. When they notified at 8:55, I don't have their exact write-up in these Fish and Wildlife documents. They essentially, I believe, said, we've got a leak and we've turned off flow in that pipeline. So they had to know before then that they were turning it
Did
off.
you think sometimes they called it a radio, the oil platform, and nobody responded?
That is a report that they were asked about today, and the CEO said, I don't know about that. We never received any reports. We never heard anything.
They would have people there 24 hours, right?
You would think on the platform, and I don't know the banning of how they man all those platforms out off the coast. There are a ton of them. Are there people on each one of them 24/7? I'm sure somebody listening knows, but the at least early indicators are that there may have been kind of a general broadcast that the Coast Guard did saying, we have reports of an oil sheen. If anybody around sees anything, please advise. And that if it was manned, they never heard anything.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex. Great report.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, I'll start with the update on the oil spill affecting Orange County beaches. Apparently, some of the oil is going to start all the way down to San Diego County. Now, as the cleanup continues. We got more coming up.
John Kenko, KFI, Deborah Mark.
The murder has been killed in a shooting with CHP in Paramount. One officer was hurt. Governor Newsom has gone to an elementary school in Fresno County to sign legislation focused on early childhood education. Former Laker Pau Gasol is retiring. He played 18 seasons in the NBA, including 7 with the Lakers. He's 41. Trouble on the 105 next.
The Medicare annual enrollment period is right around the corner. It starts October 15th. Navigating Medicare can simply be overwhelming. It's complicated stuff, which is why I'm suggesting you call AGA Medicare Options. Their team of experienced agents will advise you step by step on a plan that fits your unique situation and budget. We're all different, and the plans change year to year and sometimes significantly. AGA will compare most of the major plans at once. No cost to you. They'll help you find plans that are accepted by your physician, cover your medications at the lowest out-of-pocket cost. And even if you're already on Medicare, set up a benefit review anyways to ensure you're still on the best plan, and it is free. Call, set up your free consultation, dial pound 250 on your cell and say the keyword My Medicare, pound 250 on the cell and say My Medicare, or visit AGAMedicareOptions.com, AGAMedicareOptions.com.
We have a crash on the 105 in Limerick.
105 eastbound side, approaching Long Beach Boulevard, the right lane blocked there. Things are really heavy already from the 110. Westbound side of the 105 transition to the 710 north, that is a block of some police activity, so you're going to see delays there coming away from the back Paramount. Coming into Van Nuys, westbound 405 approaching Burbank Boulevard with the crash 2 in the 3 right lanes, so things are pretty jammed up there from Sunset. Going to be getting into Dana Point, southbound side of the 5, there for pushing in around Roberts, got a crash in the South 2 and 2 left lanes, so things are backing up there right around the Sega Highway. KFI and the traffic get you there faster. Times are 80.
This report is sponsored by MGM Resorts. At MGM Resorts, we know this is no time to return to normal. It's time to. It's time for the time of your life in Vegas at MGM Resorts.
Homeowner or refinance because you're self-employed, earn 1099 income, or even a real estate investor? You're missing out. Most lenders make approval seem impossible, especially if you're self-employed. Stop watching everyone take advantage of the lowest mortgage rates in history, or you're stuck on the sidelines. Accelerate Capital, the premier lender designed for the self-employed. Our approval process is based on common sense, using bank statements, 1099 income, profit loss statements, rental income, or even stated income to qualify at the lowest rates available. Fast. Conventional lenders cannot do this. When others say no, we say yes. Call 800-811-9702, 800-811-9702, or visit acceleratecapital.com. NMLS ID number 1165716. Not all will qualify. California DSCI license number 41GDO 45150. Additional restrictions may apply. Loans made or arranged pursuant to the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act.
Sip and save at Circle K with their new drink subscription. Enjoy one coffee or fountain drink every day for only $5.99 a month. Sign up in store. Circle K. Take it easy.
Is your prostate waking you up more often than your alarm clock? The fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostateoneperday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Addressing hair loss
thanks to advanced hair restoration's simple one-day treatment. The most difficult part? Making the call for your free consultation. Call 844-333-HAIR and get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. AdvancedHair.com.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save for details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today with 1-877 Cars for Kids. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The CVS that I used to go to, Margaret, if you paid with cash, you're going to give you change, and man, she would stick that tongue out and that thumb, and she would hit that thumb, lather it up with that saliva, and peel you off 4 singletons.
That's old school.
I said, hey, sweetheart.
The Tim Conway Jr. Show, weeknights at 6.
I've got a vision for what she looks like. She's just kind of looking over her glasses at you as you lecture her about, hey, yeah, sweetheart.
KFI.
John and Ken Show, John Cobell and Ken Shampos, KFI Am 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
All right, continuing to update all we've learned about the Orange County oil spill. Again, the big news this afternoon, the Coast Guard said yes, Friday night. We did get reports of possible oil spill off the Orange County coast. The excuse I'm hearing over and over again, as I call it, too dark to really confirm for sure whether or not there's oil on the water. I don't know, some really good searchlights on the helicopter over the water.
Well, besides, they have the satellite imagery by 1:30. And they should, the company should have known as soon as it happened. The first report was at 6:13 Friday evening. So they should have been able to shut off the flow then. They didn't shut off the flow for over 14 hours. What, do they think people aren't keeping track here? Do they think investigators and attorneys aren't keeping track? It makes no sense. How can you have a pipeline without a gauge and an alarm that lets you know when the pipe bursts?
So they're now telling us they believe an anchor dragged the pipeline as much as 150 feet, an anchor from some sizable commercial ship. Supposedly that the vessels are given anchor points to avoid the pipelines, but if this is what happened, the ship's captain may have screwed up. They're not even sure whether or not whoever did this is aware that they dragged the pipeline.
Did they not get the pipeline information? Because somebody didn't do their
mapping?
job? Yeah. Or did the captain not do his job? Or was the captain drunk and there was some other guy? Because remember.